Surviving Reality contains explicit content full of snark and sarcasm that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Reality.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is the Traitors Season 4, Episode 6, Planning a Coup.
A coup? Oh, yes. But, I mean, you have to have, like, an elected leader to stage a coup. Who elected Colton at this point?
Oh, no. Is it his coup?
Is it his coup?
It's a coup of Colton.
Yeah. That's what
Spoiler.
I'm saying. It's like, well,
We're giving things away already. I was very excited when I saw the title of this episode because I was hoping that maybe my heart's desire would be fulfilled and we'd be rid of a certain faithful.
Well, let's just say Colton was at the bottom of our Bracketology list this week.
Yeah.
Because we thought, coming into this week, we don't know if a murder is even taking place. Was everyone shielded? Did someone take a shield?
Let me tell you, I asked you guys on Patreon if you thought that there was going to be a murder, and there were quite a few of you who thought that Colton took a shield.
Several people thought maybe somebody amongst all of the players took a shield, but we'll have to see. Yeah, what's going on? This is where we pick up in this episode.
So we're coming off of Lisa finding out in the turret that Colton has been saying her name around the castle.
I knew it. I knew he was going to be a problem. She knew it. Lisa knows.
And here we are. We're at breakfast. We don't know. Was there a murder? We're going to find out if everybody walks in today.
Everybody's piling in. It's very quiet at breakfast, though. There's no Michael Rappaport. The plates do not have lip pressure plates of the none of that now.
They're not chipped anymore.
Nobody's chipping their teeth.
The fine china.
The china is safe, marked safe from interacting with Michael Rappaport this morning.
Do you kind of miss him?
No, not really.
I felt like we lost some comedic relief. That was not that he was being funny. He's getting the funny edit like Tom got last season, but not in an endearing way.
Definitely not endearing. They did not win me over with Michael Rappaport.
No, but it just felt like there was something missing.
I agree. Yeah, there was something missing.
Like it turned really serious.
But it seemed like, okay, now we can play the game. And I think that was the point, right? It was that it was just chaos before. You try to start to theorize about something, and then you get pulled in 85 different directions. But that's also just a little walk through my brain for most people. If you're just
it was a speed you feel comfortable
thinking about it that way. Yeah, I can handle that. If we're shifting gears back and forth, we're going through all these different ideas and what's happening, what could be taking place. Sure, I'm right there with it.
Luckily, Lisa is coming up with a new strategy for how she's got to play the game, because if the accusation is that she's being too quiet for Lisa Rinna, then she's going to have to kind of amp things up a little bit. So she is filling all of the empty silences that Michael Rappaport has left.
See, I didn't like that. I didn't like this at all for Lisa, because you're playing into Colton's expectation of what you should have been doing. So word gets around.
She is kind of trying to tamper it. Like, she is sighing a lot.
Okay.
She's commenting on Alan's outfit. She's being loud about things that aren't part of the game.
But that was the other side of Colton's accusation as well at the end of the last episode, was that she's too over the top with her reactions. So that's just going to feed into that more as well. Which, again, saying that Colton's accusation of her is that she's being too quiet, yet also she's too big of a reactor to things.
Pick a lane,
Those
Colton.
are opposite things. And we're just here because Colton hates women, right? I think we've all established that at this point, and I feel comfortable saying
tell you,
that.
The producers do not like him.
I don't like him.
The edit he got in this episode, like, we were getting the shots of Michael Rappaport eating plates. Now we're getting Colton's crazy eyes.
Look, I think they had a lot of footage to go with for Colton's crazy eyes, and they've been working around that. This episode, though, they didn't hold back.
They're out.
Well, and I think it's just he's getting more manic as the game continues on here. He's getting a little bit desperate. He's taking these risky opportunities here because as everyone's piling in for breakfast in the morning, we find out no one took a shield. There is no murder that happened. Everybody's
so disappointed.
Here. And it's a little disappointing from a Traitor standpoint.
I feel like this season I'm really into the Traitors.
I'm rooting for the Traitors.
Yeah. I don't care about the Faithfuls anymore.
Yeah, the Faithfuls, not here for it. Not impressed with anybody. No standouts. I don't like that they've let Colton take over as like leader role.
That's why I think I've turned on them.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Bad judges of character.
Definitely. Yeah, Colton's worse than any of the Traitors by far. So Colton is now shifting his sights to, hey, if you thought I've thrown out a lot of names in this game, I've got one more for you. Today I am focusing solely on Lisa Rinna, and that is it. So he's whispering with Dorinda. He's like, hey, you need to keep an eye out on her. I'm just telling you, maybe just, pay attention, see if anything comes up.
I think he's been trying to talk Dorinda into speaking up at the round table.
Yeah, but she's not doing it.
No, well, I don't think he's directly doing it.
No,
he's planting this stuff in her mind so that when they get to the round table, she'll be like, oh, I know you, Lisa, and this isn't like you.
Yeah, I think
But she just hates Ron more.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
She can't be distracted from that.
She's still on Ron.
Highly offended by the fact that he's not interested in her life.
A lot of people are stuck on Ron at this point.
Yeah,
and I think
his name is still floating around the castle.
You can't get over it. From the first night, though, still. And like, you've gone up and talked to him, and then you still haven't cleared him as far as like, that was a gameplay thing. Bad call right out the gate, but we had to make a call based on the information that we had type of a thing.
This is one of those situations where normally the person then is gone the next day. Except they've been so distracted because they had Michael Rappaport in here yelling about all kinds of stuff that they weren't able to nail down an actual vote to get rid of Ron.
Yeah, and it was like you were the first person. So there's still so many people in the game at that point where it's really hard to have a unanimous decision where everybody says, yeah, I'm on Ron, even though there's still a few people who are absolutely dead set on it being Ron.
I don't know. I also feel like maybe the game's just getting hard for people. And so they're falling back on someone who is just an easy vote.
That's what it's coming down to. I don't want to think too hard anymore.
Turns out this game's really difficult.
This is very difficult. And then also the past 2 roundtables, I just voted for who Colton told me to vote for. And those people were both faithfuls. So
now I'm really lost.
Now I just need to go with my gut back to the original assessment that I had of everybody, which Ron is a traitor. Back to night 1. Let me reset my thinking so that way I can feel better about this. But we're picking up with the chit chat after breakfast. And suspect number 1, still for everybody, of course, it's Ron.
We got Rob and Ron talking to each other, though.
Yep.
So somehow Ron has really endeared himself to Rob.
They're really connecting.
Yeah. And he's starting to kind of feel bad for him.
Rob's just like, oh, it's such bad luck because Ron made a play the first night. And nobody can get over it. Everybody's still stuck on it. I think Ron's biggest issue in the game was that he got too close with Donna, who ended up being a traitor. So that was kind of like the kiss of death for his gameplay at that point.
Yeah.
The first friend that you made in the house was banished and they were revealed to be a traitor. So that does not look good for you.
It's making me like Rob more, that he actually has some empathy for someone who is a faithful. So, I mean, he's in the know about that because he's a traitor. He knows that for sure. And this person's being alienated by the rest of the house for no reason.
Now, there are so many people online who are thirsting for Rob at this point. An alarming number, alarming amounts of posts that I'm seeing in frequent batches of people just overwhelmed with this man's got the Kavorkia, and it's an obsession at this point.
The what?
It's from Seinfeld.
Okay.
It's the desire.
Yeah. I thought that was a reference to Dr. Kevorkian. I didn't know.
Actually, I don't remember now. I might have misquoted it.
Okay.
So anyway, he has it. And it's just this weird thing where, oh God, Maisie's bashing her head into your mic.
We gotta let her down.
Okay. Maybe.
Hold on. She's fighting
reset. Oh, resist.
Come on. She's stretching into the microphone.
Oh boy. Oh, she's rolling. Barrel roll.
Here we go.
Okay. We've settled in.
I don't know. She's comfortable. I'm not. Let's go.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. So we're feeling bad for Ron. Rob has all the empathy. The audience wants to bang Rob. I think that's where we left off.
You're following.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
A little unsettling for that. It seems like there's just this mass appeal that Rob has outside the house, inside the house.
Well, inside the house, it's making it hard for people to play the game with him.
It's distracting.
Because they can't stop looking at him.
Well, yeah. A couple people. There are a few people. Dorinda was even like standing next to him, grabbing him a couple times. She's like, this is my faithful husband on the show.
Okay, but that's where I feel like you see the social dynamics that actually exist in society, where someone who is conventionally attractive is believed to be a faithful just because people want to bang him.
Yeah, that's saying something, right? It's more of it's like a deep analysis here of society as a whole.
I'm telling you could teach an entire sociology class just off of the Traitors.
There's a lot to go through. Definitely. Absolutely.
So, but we do have other people in the house who have woken up and decided that they want to play the game today.
Yeah, Johnny is doing some math for us here because even though he is also distracted by Rob's hotness, that has not stopped him from realizing if you have 8 faithfuls show up to the round table and vote in the same way, you control the board. You would be able to get out whoever you can all agree upon. So that becomes the question, who are the 8 faithful that will pick for this group? He rattles off a whole bunch of names. 2 of the people in there are Candace and Rob. So 2 of your 6,
all the
Johnny.
Faithfuls.
All of these faithfuls that you're listing off, there's 2 traitors in there, so it's not looking good so far.
But they're doing a good job convincing the other people in the castle that they're faithfuls.
Very convincing, very well played here. They're flying under the radar. They're making everyone believe that they are, in fact, faithfuls when they are not, clearly.
I feel like it was the outfit for Johnny that made him want to play today.
Is that it? The hat? The hat stuff.
With the bejeweled hat.
Mm-hmm.
The like silky transparent sleeves on the shirt. They were kind of like flowy tassels off of the legs of the pant. Did you see this?
No. Oh, I mean, I know it was a look, but
it was a look.
I saw mostly top.
LEWK.
Okay. Okay.
And I was enjoying it.
All right.
And I felt like it upped his game.
Maybe it did a little bit.
You got to dress for the part.
Yes, and he's trying. He at least has realized, yes, there is a strategy element to this game. I can harness that. I can use that to move forward and progress in the game as well. This might bring a little bit of a threat for potential murder if he's the one who's theorizing this and putting this together. So that's something to keep an eye out. You're putting a bullseye on your back here because we know he's a faithful. And so if you're a faithful who leads the faithfuls to find traitors, sometimes that can be a problem.
Unless you're Colton.
And
you get to be wrong and nobody questions anything.
You just get to pull Natalie aside and then tell her, hey, I've got a new name for us today. So Lisa should be on your radar. So he was already talking Dorinda's ear off at breakfast. And then he's pulling Natalie aside before the mission here. And he's like, you need to keep an eye on Lisa today. And the main thing is every time we bring it up, you need to see who's trying to protect Lisa, who's deflecting from that. That's going to be our other clue for where the other traitors are.
And then Natalie proceeds to defend Lisa. No?
Is that what happened?
No, I think
what happened?
I don't know. I think you're right. I think I got a little lost in my head.
Okay.
So she is now supposed to be on the hunt.
Yeah, it was like he was telling her
that up.
Okay, I don't know. It seemed like this was like the conversation before they even got in the car.
Okay.
Because then when he's in the car, he's reiterating this because
I misread the note.
That's
We're
okay.
Good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
So now they're going to the mission,
right,
which they have 0 clues about. Alan did not give them any information.
And when they're in the car, Colton still has Lisa's name in his mouth. He's telling his vehicle now, which is Dorinda, Tara, and Rob, who's a traitor, who should be protecting other traitors, maybe, but...
He's in the room a lot when people are telling things that are valuable information.
He
to
has
the traitors.
aligned himself with Colton, though, because he realized Colton is leading the pack here.
Yeah, and a loudmouth.
Yeah, he's very loud.
He's going to tell all of the information. He's the one who's whipping votes for the round table. That's who you want to be aligned with. If you want to know what's about to happen when you walk in there.
You got to keep an eye on him. Yes, definitely. So Rob actually leans into that. He's like, well, it's plausible. I'm not going to say that she's not. So he passes Colton's sniff check here, too, because that was what he was warning Natalie about before they left, was if anybody's throwing you off Lisa's trail, then that should throw up a red flag. But Rob says, yeah, I think that could be a thing. So if you agree with Colton, you're good. And so Rob knows that. He needs to just keep nodding his head and say, that's a great idea, Colton. You need to keep running with that.
We're going back to the cabin in the woods for this mission, which is never a good thing.
The cabin. Everyone knows the infamous cabin. For folks who haven't watched The Traitors before, if this is your first season where you're watching through, the cabin is an infamous challenge spot where any mission that takes place in the cabin, it's like the Fear Factor sort of mission.
It's
where
disgusting usually.
There's lots of bugs or just like gross things creepy
dropping
crawly
on you, or like sewage that's been thrown on the top of your head. You usually want to wear a hat for this one.
Which Johnny came with like a full body suit. He was like doing the Green Man thing from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where like it was just
How did he find out? He was like, I have a gut feeling that we're going to that cabin.
He's
today.
like, we haven't gone to the cabin yet. So I'm just gonna, it sounds like I'm just gonna be careful here and go ahead and he probably packed a couple of those full body suits that he could just roll up in case of emergency here.
To be honest, I think they got off kind of easy with this challenge.
This one wasn't as bad. The ones previously have been real bad.
There was a lot of scary and creepy things that happened, but I would much rather have those things happen than be covered in bugs.
I would rather have someone in the corner of the room screaming at me, even though Dorinda looked like her heart was going to explode.
She was not doing well.
She was not handling this well.
This is why we had to have Mama Kelsey leave.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she would not have been able to participate in this event. So,
we can't jog her heart like that.
She would have been a medical withdrawal. The medical staff would have come in to tap her out for this one.
So how this works is they're going to get clues that are going to give them a name. That name is then on a grave, in a graveyard that's been built next to the cabin.
Right. Yeah, there's headstones with different names, and they're all kind of similar, so it might be like sounds like this other name, or could be something related to this name. So there's some like trick questions, trick answers that are built in here, but you're trying to decipher these word and math problems in the cabin. And then as soon as the door flies open, you have to send two people out to the graveyard. They have to pick one of the headstones to stand in front of, and then if they're correct, you get what? $3,000, $2,000,
I think it was $2,000. Maybe it was $3,000.
A couple.
I don't know. It was
bucks.
$18,000 in total that they could win.
That was up for grabs, and then there was also one headstone out in the graveyard that was for shields. So you could stand in front of the shield one, and then you, the two people who chose to do that, get the shield, but you forfeit the money for that one. So that becomes kind of a tricky spot to be in of, are we going to give up some of the money for a shield? And so that's the first thing when they sit down inside.
But that was the only money you would lose, right?
Is that round. So like instead of you going
retrieving
in front of
your bag of like $3,000, you get shields.
You get shields.
I mean, that seems like a pretty good deal.
That for $3,000, that's $1,500 a person.
You're
Come on,
really not impacting the total pot that significantly.
Not significantly.
Except Natalie makes it sound like it's the end of the world.
Okay, this is where it gets a little suspicious. If I were a faithful and we come in here, some people are they're trying to decide, right? They're checking with the group. How do we feel about going for the shield? Because there's some people like Jam's like, I'd go for the shield. I
Isn't
want
this
the shield.
season really weird with the shields?
This season, I can't wrap my mind around this because what I'm not getting is where people were looking at it like, oh, if anybody goes for the shield during this one, then we'll banish you. That was Natalie's suggestion. Because if you take the shield, everyone else is at risk. I'm sorry, I missed that part of the instruction. I don't think that's the way this is. That's what it was yesterday. But no, we are not all protected from murder if nobody picks a shield today.
Yeah.
That is not how this is played. That was not listed out and stipulated.
I feel like what she's trying to say is it's not fair because I would have taken the shield.
Well, then you should be the first one out the door to go get your shield.
Right. It's just strange. It's almost like production has planted in some of their heads that it's bad to take a shield because that then limits the number of people that the traitors can murder, and it's not great for the show.
They got them comfortable, too, with, oh, everybody has a shield at the start of this
one. It hasn't been cutthroat where maybe one or two people are able to get a shield.
Right.
It's been a lot of group stuff where the majority of the group, or like half of them, is able to be protected.
The thing that I cannot and will not get over is the fact that the gamers are missing out on the point that just because no one picks a shield doesn't mean that we are all shielded. So, yes, it would be beneficial for two people to take shields because otherwise the traitors have free range here on anybody in the game. So that doesn't help us by saying, oh, we're not going to do that. They just wanted to get the money, whatever. So they go through the different puzzles, I guess. Like that's what kind of starts popping up here.
The minute they showed the table, I was like, oh, it looks like a Ouija board.
Go figure. Yeah, it's covered in dust. There's a couple of items on there. There's some letters that are scrawled out on the table.
I don't think I could have done it.
Stuff starts sliding around. So the production value, real good. Top notch. They're sliding that thing around, and then they get to the different letters. It all goes according to plan. They're able to figure out, oh, the letters are jumbled. The names that it's spelling out.
They've got all the letters in the name, but they've got to figure out how they
is
go.
The name.
Yeah. So the first name that comes up is Louise. So that one Colton's able to figure out easily. But then the last name, they get a bunch of the letters, but they don't get
it was the last. Well, yeah, like the last letter that it was going to.
They've put them in the wrong order and they're missing a letter.
Yes.
Because somebody, I think it was Jam, yelled, Clark, Louise Clark.
Clark.
And
but it's not Clark.
Candace and Tara take off. And as they're out the front door, they have another letter.
Then they see it. It lands on B. So Clark doesn't have a B in it, guys. It's black. It should be Louise Black. So they're trying to yell from the cabin so that they hear the right answer.
Too late.
It's too late. They already stood in front of Louise Clark, and that's gone. The money's gone.
Also, how did they do this? It was so creepy.
Oh, with the hand?
Yeah, the hand pops up out of the soil with the bag of money.
Oh, I loved that too, because they were standing in front of the wrong headstone. And so then the hand pops up in front of the right headstone, and they're like, oh, there's the money. We got to go grab it. And so they run over to it, and right before they grab it, yoink, it pulled it right back into the grave again. So also, production value through the roof here. Top-notch, stellar stuff.
Put the fire budget into this time.
They did the back burner for that, but
no pyrotechnics.
The poor soul who had to crawl into these graves though, and then you're just underneath there for the duration of it with a bag.
Under there?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, like special forces,
It's Cody Brown under there.
Get in there, Gia. Come on.
The helmet.
Get going.
More crazy stuff happens inside the cabin.
Yeah.
The lights are going off. And then there's an actor standing in the corner who looks like she's covered in blood and like like
There's
she's
blood pouring all over the walls.
a ghost, or I don't know what she was supposed to be, but she's screaming at them. Dorinda's screaming back. And then the wall reveals that there's something written on it in blood. And so that's how they get the next clue.
They're finding the next clue. And then there's other ones where it's like stuff that's opening. There's bugs that are coming out of it. A bunch of cockroaches, bunch of mealworms.
But again, that was off to the side.
Yeah.
Nobody got covered in them.
Directly on them. So they really toned it down.
Like, did somebody get bit by one last season? Like, was there a problem?
They were very unpleasant. The past few... they ramped it up and it got worse and worse, where they were dumping buckets of mealworms onto people. So like, this is not that at all. So this was very toned down, very, very simple. At one point though, during one of these, because they kind of just flew through a couple of these different puzzles that they were solving along the way, Jam Jam and Mara were going out to pick the headstone to stand in front of. And at one point, Jam Jam just goes, should we take the shield? Like, maybe we just...
He really wants to do the shield.
Maybe we just sacrifice the money for this one?
And
like,
so
why not?
Mora's like side-eyeing him.
Because Mora's like, wait a minute.
We literally just had a conversation before we started about how we weren't going to take the shields. And if we did, they were going to banish us.
Well, so you have to get everyone else to vote for me if that's what it is. Because we never agreed on that. There was no contract that was signed.
All right.
None of that.
It's not a good look, so you probably shouldn't do it. He was really shitty that she didn't agree to take them.
It's a little upsetting. It's a little upsetting.
I'm not really sure why he's under the impression that he needs a shield so badly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like the survivor thing?
Yeah, it's always that mentality. They want the, immunity. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's it.
I just feel like since most of the other gamers went, Jam Jam's kind of flying under the radar.
I mean, if I were a faithful, I would be convinced that Jam Jam is a traitor, though. So that would be my other issue that I would have. So
there's
for
so
him,
many misplays. Like if someone had just done something like that, it would have looked suspicious and it would have helped the traitor so much more.
Yeah. So instead, we're left with, because basically you get out of this too. So the main benefit of going outside is, well, if you want to sneak and steal a shield, obviously be one of the first people out, so then you can go jump in front of that thing. But the people who, whether you're right or wrong, once you're out and you pick a headstone, you just get to go back to the castle. You're done. You don't have to keep going back inside.
Right. This was kind of a letdown.
Trickier part.
I liked the stuff inside. It was fun to watch and their reactions were great. But the actual mission paled in comparison to what's happened at the cabin in the past.
Very humdrum. Yeah. And I think it was because they were playing a little bit strategically for this too. They were keeping the people who were solving the puzzles in the house. So that's the other thing, is that if you have people who are doing well with it, but then they want to get out of the house, then you're less likely to solve the upcoming ones because you're being sent back to the cabin.
And they need...
Or sent back to the castle, I mean.
Every soul they can to solve that word problem about Deirdre.
You know, Deirdre Darkin, word problem, you lost me on that one too. I'm out. I'm out on that one.
I have never been able to deal with those problems that are like, you know, this sibling is this much older than that one, but then the next one is, 3 years younger than the other one. There was a full moon, and so take 2 years off. I'm like, I don't know.
I can do them if I have time, but if I'm reading it off of a ghost-written typewriter and then a door is flying open and they're like, okay, you have 30 seconds.
And there's the woman screaming at you.
To pick it. I'm not going to get that one, okay? I think I'm just going to go stand in front of the shield and say, I don't know. I didn't know the answer, so I just grabbed a shield. Sorry, guys. Sorry. That's what it came down to, is that we weren't going to get the money anyway, so I figured we might as well get something out of this.
No, I was Lisa Rinna in that movement.
Oh my God, she was running around. Well, that's what Alan was making fun of her. He's like, Lisa's literally just running around outside. She's not in the cabin anymore. She's just running around screaming at nothing now at this point.
Well, she had to get out of there after the word problem.
She was freaking out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Done with that. Don't want to be involved with this anymore. So at the end of it, they did pretty good.
Yeah.
5 out of 6. Not too bad. It was just that first one. They got off to a little bumpy start because they jumped the gun on the letters that were coming across. on the Ouija board there.
So they made $15,000 out of $18,000. Pretty good day.
No shields were taken though. So
you know what's shitty about that?
everyone
A
is
shield
up.
could have been taken and they would have had the same amount of money.
Correct. Well, I mean, that would be if Candace and Tara took the shield.
Yeah, which they thought they had the right answer when they walked out the door.
That was what they thought. So, but that means everybody's up for murder now. So there's stuff to keep an eye out. This is good for the traitors. That's what Rob is very happy with this, pleased with the results because they did well with the challenge. They added a good bit of money and now the traitors have all of their options available to them. So now we get some more chit chat going back here. Ron's basically packing his bags.
Yeah.
He has been for 4 days.
Writings on the wall. He's known that it's just a matter of time before he's back in there defending himself at the round table again.
It always happens. That's what keeps happening. This is the whole point of the round tables now is everybody has to turn and look at Ron and say, what do you want to say today, Ron? How are you going to convince us to keep you around?
This man is just wishing to be banished.
It's so tiring. Yeah, like that would get...
It's emotionally exhausting to have to be in this spot. And then nobody really wants to talk to you. You've only got Rob to play chess with. And then everybody avoids you the rest of the day.
It's really, it's falling apart at this point. So we're losing interest very quickly. Meanwhile, the rest of the faithfuls, we've got Mark and Johnny. They're looking to make a play because Johnny was like, look, I still have the strategy. 8 faithfuls. We can get out whoever we agree upon.
This was crazy because we have not seen Mark do much in this game.
No, he was just kind of following Colton around the past few days. And I didn't like that. That wasn't a good look.
Well, I guess he had some feelings about that.
Yes, very much so. Because now they're going to be talking about maybe let's make a play for Colton. I don't like the puppeteering, the aggressiveness that he's throwing out all these different names. He's moving from one to the next to the next. It's been 2 faithfuls in a row. Not so good. 2 or was it 3? No, he's 2. Voted 3 out because he was part of the Porsche.
Michael Rappaport counted.
Michael Rappaport did count.
So yes. 3.
So that's 3 in total and then 1 traitor along the way. But since they got the traitor, it's been 2 faithfuls back to back at Colton's behest.
Right.
So that's where it's like, okay, I think we've had our experience of Colton leading and we're kind of over it.
I think that they need to agree on how many faithfuls is a traitor worth. Because if you're going to constantly back someone up and forgive them for accidentally banishing a faithful, how many do you get away with before you say, okay, I know you caught a traitor, but it doesn't count anymore.
1 time. And then it was, that was 3 people ago at this point.
Yes,
so it's
crazy.
Not looking good, man. Your ratio, it's real bad and getting worse. So that's kind of in the works right now. They're trying to gather people together to figure out who they can rally to this cause. Because if they go for Colton, I mean, it's only going to be a limited amount of time before Colton hears about it. Because as soon as you tell Natalie, he's going to find out about it.
They're scared.
They're afraid of this man because people he goes after.
As they should be.
Definitely. I mean, for multiple reasons, right? That we know. Several reasons.
The stalking is probably a big part of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, I think they're seeing he looks kind of coked out.
Yeah.
In a lot of the shots.
Just like.
His behavior is very weird.
Erratic. Yeah, he's getting to that point.
More and more paranoid the longer he stays here.
Well, yeah, and it's only a matter of time before, if he says your name, then everybody's going to be looking to banish you.
He has too much power.
Yeah, it's a problem now at this point, and he's been wrong. You've wronged us too many times now.
Yeah, and I think they're saying he's not humble. So if he gets it wrong, it's not like he takes a day to step back and make more observations. He just keeps going.
He's going for his next gut reaction instinct, which is yet another woman. Usually in the case of the game so far here.
What a coincidence.
So that's what keeps happening here. But meanwhile, in the kitchen, Rob is revealing some of his new findings from the day. He thinks that Ron is a faithful. From all this time that he's been playing chess with him, he's been asking him questions, looking him in the eye directly when he's been answering. So all these reads that he's getting, the information that he's picking up, sounding more and more like Ron might be a faithful, you guys.
I'm not sure if he really feels that badly for Ron that he wants to keep him around, or if it's that he has managed to befriend someone who has been alienated from the rest of the group. So if he's able to keep him in the game, he has another faithful who's going to feel like they owe their loyalty to him.
Yes, this is a win-win because if Ron stays in the game, that's another faithful friend for Rob to have at his disposal for the later game. If Ron goes home, you get your gut check validated for the group because you say, see, I said, I don't think Ron is a traitor. And it turns out he's a faithful. So that's good too, is to then boost your standing as far as like, see, I have good intuition.
Maybe when I do speak up, you should listen to me.
You should listen to me. So I think that's where he's seeing the benefit here. He's seeing the value. He's trying to leverage that to the best of his ability.
Now, Johnny and Mark are still trying to whip their votes, and they approach Rob about voting out Colton, who is one of his other closest allies in this game.
He has invested quite a bit into Colton at this point, where he is heavily relying on him for input here as far as a faithful front for Rob to work around, basically.
Do you think that that's a risky thing to do, just given Colton's personality?
I mean, I think the reason why Rob was saying I need to get so close to Colton is because he knew if that focus turns to him, it's going to be a big problem.
But I don't think that Colton would bat an eye to turn to completely forget his alliance with Rob and throw him under the bus and say, I think he's a traitor.
If he got suspicious of him?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't think that whatever Rob is thinking as far as like how much credence he's putting into this alliance, like I don't think that it's there.
I think he's seeing it as the more time that I spend, like FaceTime spent with Colton, he will not suspect me because I'm interacting with him on a regular basis.
Well, mainly because you're a man.
Well, probably that too. That's really helping right now. It seriously is, unfortunately here. But Rob is like the last person that you would expect to. So when Johnny sits him down, he's like, I have to tell you this really quick. We're going to go for Colton. We need your vote, sir. And it was like, dude, no, like that's not going to happen. So I don't like how this is going. I don't like how this is going at all.
No, I also do understand that keeping Colton in the game, it's if you're thinking a couple of days ahead, you're going to end up at the round table with him getting banished.
That's a banishment
it's
vote.
Only a matter of time. Like, just keep feeding it.
Yeah.
Let's keep him another night and then let the suspicion grow.
Yeah.
And then that gains you another night at the round table.
Because depending on how you play the murder, maybe that can steer things in his direction a little bit or something.
It's just
too.
He really is a loose cannon. I think I would be worried that it's just a matter of time before you walk in there and you're blindsided that he's saying your name.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, definitely. So the guarantee of having a banishment that you can count on Colton being removed on that vote, is that worth the risk of keeping him in the game at this point when he could turn his attention to you?
So then Colton's busy. He's pulling Lisa aside and he says, this may be really dumb, but I'm going to try it anyway. And he talks to Lisa and is like, look, I know you're a traitor. So maybe we can work together in that I won't say your name at the round table if you don't murder me.
I'll protect you at the round table if you protect me in the turret. Because I'm pretty sure you're a traitor. So Lisa has to then feign surprise at this, and she's like, "What are you talking about? What is this?
I'm a faithful.
I'm a faithful. What are you? You're barking up the wrong tree, Colton."
Okay, the way that he put this was he was going to hold a traitor hostage.
Not great verbiage from Colton Underwood, you guys. Not good.
If you have a stalking charge in your past, I don't think you should be joking about holding people hostage on reality TV.
No, And let me tell you why this is so foolish to be doing, because basically what you're saying here is you're trying to force Lisa to recruit you at a later date. That's what you're going to bank on here?
Do you think
because
that's what he wants to be a traitor?
You can't finish the game. He's saying, I want to win the game with you. I think you're a traitor. I know I'm a faithful. You know I'm a faithful because you are a traitor. Then why would Lisa... Like, what does Lisa have to...
Why would she take you to the end?
Why would she take
Unless
you to the end?
were also a traitor.
Because, well, and then also she would need to recruit you so that she could split the money with you as a traitor?
When you held her hostage all the way to the end of the game.
Why would she do that? This is the dumbest play ever.
I don't think that he actually meant it. I think he was hoping that she would admit that she was a traitor.
He was trying to catch her in a reaction that he could then tell the whole table about. I wanted Lisa to just go, yeah, what a great idea. Let's do that. And like play into it of like, you don't even know what you're talking about. And then tell everybody that. Tell everybody what happened.
I would have flown out of that room and been like, Colin just came up to me and tried to cut a deal with me.
Thinking I was a traitor.
He wants to go to the end with a traitor. Why would a faithful ever say that?
Why? Why would you do that? Because you lose the game if you're a faithful and you go to the end of the game with a traitor, you lose.
It shows he's not trustworthy as a faithful. Do you want to finish the game with somebody who wanted to cut a deal with a traitor?
What's worse than a traitor? A bad faithful. That's always the argument that you can lean into. And then that'll get the wheels turning for people where they go, yeah, I don't like that. I didn't like that. That's sneaky. That's shifty. I don't like the way he's playing. Why did she not immediately go tell everybody this information?
I don't know, because I got so excited thinking that this was going to turn into something really bad for Colton. And then that was the end of us hearing about it.
Look, Lisa had been doing really great as a traitor up to this point. I don't think it was necessarily from what she was doing. I think they had a lot of cover. A lot of focus was on Donna. A lot of focus has been on Ron. A lot of focus was on Michael Rappaport. So you had a lot of distractions. As soon as those distractions fall away and an actual legitimate claim comes up where Colton is throwing out Lisa's name.
I think her game's falling apart.
She might be cracking under the pressure here a little bit. She isn't really able to dispute this in a way that puts the blame back onto Colton or
she has a hard time with forming logic that she's able to articulate that then people can go, oh yeah, this is stupid. Why are we using the argument that Lisa voted for Portia the first week? I mean, that's the same thing that we have a problem with Ron about.
Well, because that's what they bring up at the round table, right?
Most of you voted for Portia as well?
Yes, there's the reminder here because everybody files in at the round table. And
this
Ron...
was a super long round table,
This
too.
was very long.
It's like half the episode.
Majority of the episode. Ron has to start the conversation, which I think is just cruel. At this at this point, this man has been through enough, but he's like, well, the round tables are my time to shine.
He's got the chalk out. Because he's ready to just start writing names down.
Could we just skip the discussion today and just go right to the vote?
If y'all are going to vote for me anyway.
Maybe if we just do one round real quick on the votes, just to see where we all stand. Mm-hmm. And then maybe we don't need to do the whole discussion. But instead, it's met with Mark chiming in, and he's asking Ron, can you please defend yourself for why we should believe that you're a faithful? And Ron's like, look, this is the fourth round table.
How many more times do I have to say the same thing?
That I have to defend myself for one mistake that happened in the first episode, the first day that we were here. And then you got other people at the table who are continuing to make mistakes repeatedly, who don't have to defend themselves. I think that's a little upsetting, right? Maybe we should start looking around and ask some other people to defend themselves, right? Because Colton, you've got it wrong a couple more
than
times.
I have.
Consistently, you're 2 for 2 back to back right now on getting faithfuls out.
Colton seemed shocked. It was like, those are the facts of what's been happening the last few nights. I know in your manic state, you may not have been able to calculate that, But many days have passed at this point.
Several.
And Ron was wrong about Portia, who also, Portia said those things.
Right.
Portia misspoke and made herself look like a traitor.
This is the problem here.
Cole's just going off of his gut, and he's wrong.
Firing from the hip. And then I like how Ron pointed out too, well, I mean, none of us like Michael, so I know that doesn't count. But like, and everybody liked Portia, so that's why I'm held accountable. But this is when Kristen has to chime in, and she's like, I would like to hold Colton accountable. If we're holding people accountable, I would like to hold Colton accountable for Tiffany the same way that Ron is, being punished for the Portia vote at this point.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you, Kristen. Applause.
I think we should maybe be questioning a little further why these two men are being treated so differently.
Yeah.
Because it's alarming.
It's apparent now. Yeah, where people I just can't get over this. I can't let it go. I can't shake this concern that I have about Ron being a traitor and that I don't believe what he's saying.
Colton's defense is this is his gameplay. He's playing aggressively. He's playing hard. It is a little reckless. And that's just who he is and how he's going to play this game as a faithful.
What I don't like is that it's like, yeah, I get it. If you were a traitor, I don't think that Colton is a traitor. If I was there, I understand that. If he was a traitor, he would not be playing like that. He's getting a lot of attention on himself.
But then, like you said, there are bad faithfuls.
There's bad faithfuls
who keep everyone confused or are constantly pointing the finger in new directions. And that just causes chaos.
Well, and then he's a witch hunter.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets it where he's just going to go for it. And he continues to. Okay, to a certain point, all you're doing is rooting out faithfuls.
I don't like how it feels like he's bullying the person that he's accusing of being a traitor every week.
Yeah, where it's like this,
it's
the
like
belittling,
gross
the
level.
digging, the picking at. It's like like a mental torment aspect.
Yes. Like he was giving Lisa a hard time about how she had been wearing sunglasses in some of the earlier episodes or the few days before.
Glad I could see your eyes today.
Just like a lot of little comments like that.
Yeah. But it's all like very predatory too, which obviously that tracks. But in the way of like he's going at this and just trying to like break them down to a point where they just don't even want to fight back anymore. So at least with Lisa, she is pushing back to an extent. But I'm saying, bring the facts, Lisa. Mention what Colton said, word for word of what this offer was. Why is this not coming up right now?
I have no idea why she wouldn't mention that.
This is insane because
I think she's maybe just not as good at the strategy of this game. And she's really been floated along by the other traitor strategy. And like you said, like the distractions that were happening in the castle. And she's good at fighting back at the round table in that she's not just going to clam up and not say anything, but the substance of what she says is what's lacking.
It's not convincing because it's basically just being met with, well, first of all, so before we get to it, it kind of ends up with like a Colton and Lisa showdown here. But before that, it's Ron basically going around the room and saying his goodbyes to people because he's like, well, honestly, the best thing I can do as a faithful, because I know I am a faithful, is to just go ahead and let you all vote for me and just have this be my last day and we'll just call it there. So he's just asking for time to just say thank you to the people he's participated with here. And so he goes around the table, mentions everybody except Dorinda, which I made note of. So I don't know if it was edited out or if he just...
Oh, no. He and Dorinda don't like each other.
I think
At one point,
skipped.
he said, he was like, there's no point in us talking to each other because it's not going to remain nice.
He said nice things about Colton in this, too. So it was just like, it's not like he was going around the table and like picking and choosing. He said something nice about everybody except for Dorinda. So specifically, that was something that happened from that time too. But while he's going around, people are realizing, I don't think that Ron's a traitor.
Yeah.
I don't think this is what a traitor would be
Natalie's
doing with their last round
whispering,
table.
Rob is whispering.
Tara's whispering.
They're all like, this just doesn't feel like someone who's a traitor. Like the way that he's saying goodbye to everyone. And one point he was just pretty much resigned to the fact that he was going to go home. And he was like, just write my name down.
Just do it. Please.
Just vote me out so that I can walk up there and say that I'm a faithful and we can just end this.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of having this conversation.
I want to go see my kids is basically what it's coming down to at this point. So then Tara speaks up. She's like, I might get murdered for this. I don't think Ron's a traitor. I don't see it.
So she's cleared Ron at the table. Also, we had Rob say something when Colton was talking about he doesn't think that Colton's a traitor.
Right.
And then Rob also whispered back to Natalie about Ron.
I don't think
Ron's a traitor. So those are the two people whose names have been talked about so far at the round table. And Rob has expressed for both of them that he doesn't think that they're traitors.
I don't think that either one of them are traitors, which I think that's why he's leaning into that, is because he knows that both of them are faithful. So he has formed a bond with them. And so he wants to prove that his gut is right and remain loyal, or like look like he's remaining loyal to these people that he's built bonds with in the game. So that runs the risk then of you ask. It becomes complicated here because now you're asking if we're not voting for people who we think are traitors, who else do we think is a traitor? And Colton's like, I have theories. And it's like, dude, we don't need more theories from Colton right now.
Well, how quickly we threw out this alliance that he tried to form.
Oh my God. Well, and because he knew that she said no. So he's not going to protect Lisa at the round table because, he goes immediately to calling attention to Lisa to be a traitor.
So the thing that they're hinging this on is that Lisa voted for Portia the first week, and Portia's also a housewife. And they find it really hard to believe that a housewife would vote out another housewife the first night.
Natalie is the one who's like piling on with that, where she's like, yeah, I can't get over that because the first night I wouldn't have voted for anybody else from Survivor. And so like you have your people when you come into this game.
And those are the only people you know. Why would you get rid of someone who you already have a relationship with outside of the castle?
Right. So Lisa kind of deflected because then she puts it on Ron. Ron was very convincing that first night. I didn't know at the time that Portia was a faithful, but we all voted her out. That's why she was banished, was because the majority of us voted her out.
I feel like there needs to be a conversation about how, like, have you ever seen the show Housewives? Has anyone here actually watched the show? Because I'm not really understanding why you all think that we're friends.
This unwavering loyalty that you keep mentioning amongst the Housewives, which we weren't even on the same version of Housewives.
Yeah, not on the same franchise.
No, it's totally different. So, like, first of all, have
you ever seen how quickly a housewife will turn on another housewife in front of Andy Cohen?
You guys watched any of the reunions before?
It's just like that is an assumption that's being made because other housewives who came into this game played like that.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that everyone is going to.
No, not at all.
But that is not what Lisa says.
No. So Lisa's argument is basically just, well, I think Colton, you are a traitor. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And it's like, dude, you had so many things that you could have fired off with at this point that you had absolutely no input on for that. You're not going to bring up any of this stuff, any of those conversations that took place in private. I really
don't think that she can keep up with the speed of the round table.
And
I'm not saying that to like insult her. I just think that you have to be really quick and be able to think of things and not just like insults, which I feel like is like the housewives.
She wasn't even doing that.
I feel like she's towing the line because then anytime that she says something towards Colton that's a little bit aggressive, he's like, there's Lisa Rinna. Like, he's trying to prove a point that she hasn't been herself in this game because she's putting on a front because she's actually a traitor.
Right. So,
which she's not wrong about.
Yeah, but like
Unfortunately.
she's not attacking Colton by discrediting him, by like tearing apart his credibility.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you need to do this. She's just countering by saying, honestly, she's countering like a traitor, where it's, you have raised an accusation against me. I believe that you are the traitor.
Right.
So it's like, that doesn't look good either. You need to have reasons why it's like, you've been wrong about all this stuff. You came to me assuming that I was a traitor, and then you were talking about finishing the game with me.
Well, you can't bring that up at the round table. You have to tell people before that.
Oh, I mean, I would have brought it up everywhere.
Yeah.
I'd be talking about it nonstop.
I just think if you don't tell people that before you walk in there, then people think that you're keeping secrets, and then it looks like you're a traitor.
Yeah, you need to tell somebody. And okay, so at this point, Candace is like, guys, we're doing the same thing again. We're getting distracted because we came in here with Ron on the mind. I mean, some people came in with Colton as a possibility.
What is Candace going to do when she doesn't have Ron to vote for anymore?
I don't know. Yeah, she has heavily relied on Ron to be her vote and all she needs to mention at the round table, where she is stuck on Ron. But I don't know. I guess that looks bad then too, because it looks like you are so hung up on somebody that you won't change your mind over it.
Yeah.
So like, how far is too far? Because it's one of those fine mediums that you need to balance in this game of, do you sink your teeth in on something and you stick with it? Or was that just a cover because you had somebody to vote for every night as a traitor?
Well, right. She is, I think, trying to play this in a way that she wants to look like an independent faithful who is just walking in there without like aligning themselves to a group.
Yes.
And that she votes for who she thinks the traitors are.
The good cover for that, and why I like that for her at this point in the game still, is it makes it plausible why you're a faithful who's not getting murdered. Because you're not part of a big voting block. You're not leading the charge on anybody. You're just kind of floating in the middle. You have your own theories. You're off to the side.
Which, you know, if Ron was a traitor, don't you think Candace would have been gone by now? Because every opportunity she gets to redirect everyone back to looking at Ron, she takes it.
Well, that's an interesting play too, because then it's like, well, if Ron was a traitor and Candace is always so openly opposed, that's another reason why you can't murder Candace. Because then that looks too obvious that it would be traitors taking out someone who's going after a traitor.
On the surface, it looks stupid that she just keeps voting for Ron.
But there's deeper levels to it that I can respect the gameplay and understand, as long as she has that reasoning that's backing it up to explain some of that stuff away. I think that works tremendously in her favor. So she's trying to get everybody to focus back in on, we had limited options coming into the round table, remember? And not a lot of people remember that. They are all over the place now because we've got Colton, we've got Ron, we've got Lisa. It's a mixed bag now.
You know, Ron was worried they were going to use all the time today, and they end up having to be cut off by Alan. They have to vote.
The call for the vote is where Rob is in a pickle.
Sweating bullets now because only 3 names got mentioned. 2 of them are people who he has outright said, I don't think that they're traitors. And the other one is his traitor partner.
Yes. So he has spent all day defending both Ron and Colton as faithfuls. And then Lisa's name has popped up, which he is in a traitor alliance with, but obviously you can't make that known. So now he has to vote for somebody, and he's like, oh, crap. Well, I don't want to flip on these guys, and so I might have to vote for Lisa here. This might be a traitor betrayal that's happening here.
So we start the vote. And I was really surprised that so many people voted for Ron. Because coming in here, I thought that Johnny did a much better job of getting everyone together to vote for Colton. But we end up with 6 votes for Ron, 5 votes for Lisa, and 4 votes for Colton.
4 For Colton.
So Colton's argument that Lisa is a traitor was more effective than Johnny walking around the castle all day with Mark.
Yep.
And trying to get 8 votes.
Here, I'll point out a couple of reasons why. The people who were voting for Ron in that list, Steven and Mark. So Mark was one of the original people who came up with the idea to go for Colton.
Mark, how did you end up voting for Ron instead of Colton?
So that's a big problem that I have. Also, while they were trying to recruit people to vote for Colton, Steven was all on board for it at the time too. He voted for Ron as well. So I don't know if it was a flip or if it was like a focus shift thing that happened where they're trying to make the reasonable explanation of it here too, where the value, I think Jam Jam's point was where it was like, Ron, I don't know if you're a traitor. I don't know if you're a faithful. The value of banishing you is to know that for a fact, though. We have to know if you are or if you are not. So keeping you in the game, you cannot stay in the game at this point. The value that you hold is by revealing that information, unfortunately. So I think that might have resonated with a few people. That's what bothers me, because Rob's vote was for Lisa. So this is a traitor betrayal. I think that was a huge misplay for Rob.
Really?
Yes, because I think he could have worked out or reasoned a vote for Ron. He could not vote against Colton. That was definitely out. So I would say he was between Ron or Lisa. But who do you want to betray? Somebody who's probably about to leave the castle right now? But you can say, I don't think you're a traitor. I'm pretty sure you're a faithful. Drive that point home again to build that rapport of, see, trust my instincts. I have good reads on people, all of that stuff that would have been of value.
But we have to put this to bed.
We have to put this to bed. That's why I'm doing it, is because we need to know the answer. There's so many people here who are so hung up on it. And I know you're probably over it at this point too. So like, let's just get it all out there. I think he could have gone with more of a sympathy, put Ron out of his misery sort of a vote.
Yeah.
Instead of stabbing Lisa in the back, because now all you've done is you've made an enemy in the turret now. Candace isn't going to trust you anymore. Lisa, if Lisa has the most heat, she's probably going to be the first traitor who's going to be banished at some point.
Yeah.
Who's she going to vote for on her exit?
Oh, you're worried we're going to have a traitor on traitor issue.
Who's she going to vote for? The person who wronged her at the table. And that's always a suspicious thing. When a traitor's banished, who did they vote for when they leave the game? That becomes a clue that people hang on to.
I agree that he could have figured an out to vote for Ron instead.
Yes.
But I do understand why he voted for Lisa. Also, I think he felt the pressure to vote with Colton so that Colton continues to trust him. And I think Natalie is part of that group as well.
Right.
So I think he felt like he had to vote with an alliance to a certain extent.
Right. Yes.
And I was wondering if they heavily edited what he said at the round table when he revealed his vote.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because I think you could say, I voted for Lisa. Lisa, I don't know if you're a traitor, but I've already said, I've looked Ron in the eyes. I don't believe that he's a traitor. I think he's a faithful. I believe that Colton is a faithful as well. So I voted for you because I really don't know.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it came down to, it was a tie, a 5-5-4 tie before they revealed Mark's vote. So like, if Mark had voted Lisa, Lisa would have been banished.
Yeah.
That would have been it. There wouldn't have been another vote. If he had voted for...
It came down to one vote.
Yeah, and if Mark had voted for Colton, which he said he led the charge with Johnny...
We would have had a two-way tie.
We would have had a three-way tie.
Oh, three-way tie.
Because it would have been 5-5-5.
And we would have had to vote again.
Vote again. So that would have been interesting too, because they get to discuss again. So how would the conversation have changed based on Lisa seeing Rob vote for her too? She might have been upset with that. and said some stuff.
So the 4 people who voted for Colton were Tara, Lisa, Johnny, and Kristen.
Right.
Now, I'm a bit worried for those 3. Obviously, he's already after
4.
Lisa.
With the 4.
Well, he's already after Lisa.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
the other 3.
The other 3, I think Colton is a vindictive person. And I am wondering, how long it takes before he starts looking at Tara, Johnny, and Kristen.
Right. Yeah. For going against him, for daring to question him.
Who would you murder if you were a traitor?
Now, this is tough.
Because you got to consider the votes. You know that Colton, so they wanted to murder Colton before we came into today.
Yeah.
And now the way that things have played out, it doesn't seem like he's really on the table because it'd be very obvious.
It seems like that's very... Well, hold on. Finish out the roundtable here real quick.
I'm sorry.
We banished Ron.
I felt like it was...
No. We banished Ron. Ron is gone, and he obviously reveals he's a faithful. So, no shit. And immediately then, Colton is picking at Lisa and trying to get her fired up. They're jabbing back and forth at each other. Mm-hmm. And so they're kind of having this little sparring thing before everybody gets up to leave. But now everybody's all bummed out because, oh man, Ron was a faithful. We done did it again. We're voting out more faithfuls by listening to people who maybe we shouldn't be listening to.
Candace is playing, oh, silly me.
Oh, I goofed. Yeah.
I can't believe that Ron was a faithful.
The whole time? Man, he sure didn't play like a faithful. So she gets to, shrug that one off because, hey, we all make mistakes, unless you're Ron, because Ron's vindictive and he's cold calculated.
I feel like that looks so much worse, doesn't it, than Ron being wrong on night 1 about someone when for 5 nights... You voted for the same person over and over and over again, and they turned out to not be a traitor.
To have the fine line of where she's stuck with Ron, and then to have him be a faithful is oh yeah, that doesn't look good, I guess. But
Alan's going to cheer them up.
The faithfuls are down, so yeah, we gotta get the morale boost going here. He's going to invite everyone to a banquet that evening here. Johnny already smells something's up. Because he's don't touch anything at the banquet, guys.
He's telling everyone.
If we're going to the banquet, don't touch nothing.
Which is, for the traitors, unfortunate that he's already on that high alert.
Yeah, because
making everyone hyper vigilant about touching things.
As we come to find out, yes, eventually here. But before we get to that, the chit chat that starts swirling now, because then Lisa's complaining at the bar. Everybody's kind of turning on Colton a little bit more. Candace is there to reinforce some of that.
Yeah, I was a little relieved to see that was the sentiment walking away from the table, was that, people did not really like his attitude. And Lisa does a better job here than she did at the round table. Saying, I'm a housewife, but I feel like people are just labeling me as a housewife. And that we're all supposed to act a certain way, and that's the problem with this game, is that when someone doesn't act in the way that everyone else expects them to, then they're suspected of being a traitor.
Right, where it's, okay, sorry, if I didn't meet Colton's expectations, I guess that means I'm not allowed to play the game anymore? I didn't know that was written in the rules. I didn't know that was part of this, So I think that was the thing of calling him out, where it's, don't expect me to be a housewife because I'm Lisa fucking Rinna. And
I loved that when he walks into the bar as they're having this conversation.
Yes.
And she's like, let me tell you something, Colton. I've been in this business a long time. I've been here before Housewives. I'm still here after Housewives. I'm Lisa fucking Rinna. I'm not Lisa Rinna housewife.
No. So that's calling into question, which then Colton is realizing the room has turned on him. The sentiment is shifting here. So he makes an announcement to the traitors in the room. He doesn't know who they are, allegedly.
He does have 2 out of 3 in the room right now.
2 out of 3 right in front of him. But he says a message to the traitors. If you don't murder me tonight, I'm going to grab every single shield for the rest of this game that is available. So I will make it so difficult to remove me from this game. You better get me out of here while you have the chance.
He keeps trying to play this reverse psychology thing.
Yeah.
Like, they're just going to murder him and make a wrong move.
Making it so obvious
he's
that
going to make their lives a living hell by winning every shield he possibly can.
Oh, trust me, Colton. Oh, it's already torture being in the game with
Yeah.
you, just in general.
You're not going to get murdered. You're going to get banished.
Yeah, like real soon.
Like,
because
you're heading the direction of a Michael Rappaport banishment.
you came close today. Like, you were on the edge here, right in the mix there. What I didn't like was that him throwing out Lisa's name the first time her name got brought up at banishment. 4 people.
Votes.
4 people? 5 people?
Aside from
5.
him.
Well, yeah, 4 in addition to him. So
Yeah.
5 votes total for Lisa at the first time that your name's brought up. That's not good.
Too influential.
Too influential, and also there's a lot of suspicion on you, Lisa. Like, that is really, really bad. If it didn't take that much for people to just go, you know what, I'm going to write Lisa's name down because, yeah, something feels off. Something feels sketchy here.
So our traitors do actually get to meet up after this, even though they're not in the turret.
Right.
They're in the kitchen.
Yeah. Yes.
Rob was trying to avoid having to interact with them because he knew that it wasn't going to go so well.
He doesn't regret what he did, but he definitely doesn't want to see Lisa face to face at this point. He's dreading it.
I think Candace was more upset than Lisa.
Candace was very
She
upset.
threw a cookie at him.
She threw something at it. Clunked him pretty good too. Whatever it was, had some heft to it. She put some zip on that thing. So yeah, it really got him. But I think this is like he's explaining away. He's reasoning, trying to resolve it. He was explaining, I was defending those 2 guys all day, saying that they were faithfuls. If I turned on them at that point, that's terrible. That does not look good. I can't do that. I can't go against that when I've been saying this all day.
Obviously worried about the optics of defending another traitor.
I think Candace got frustrated because she knew he was right to an extent, too.
Yeah.
And also, with this much heat on Lisa, the first time that her name gets brought up, there's only so much you can do as a traitor. And if you jump in to try and defend somebody who instantly gets 5 votes at a round table, that doesn't look good either.
That's why I feel like in this game, there comes a point where you can't defend your fellow traitor anymore.
Was this that point? I think it was a little early for a traitor betrayal, which that's what I'm saying. Last season was so painful to watch because we had traitors turning on traitors on like the 2nd day.
Well, he's got to clean it up then. And then tomorrow, so next week, he better not walk in there and vote for Lisa again. You better find some way to turn attention elsewhere.
Find some suspicion with something else. Yeah, figure out what's going on here. But we find out more details about that banquet because there is a catch here. Because last night in the turret meeting...
Or Natalie knew it. Natalie was like, what's the catch of the banquet?
Yeah, what's going on?
They're not just being nice to us.
Well, yeah, because Johnny was like, oh, yeah, nobody touch anything at the banquet then. Because something is bound to go wrong. Something's happening here, and it is not going to be in our best interest, you guys. So come to find out, at the turret meeting last night, when Alan came in to tell the traitors, sorry, no murder tonight because everybody's shielded, but he let them know, I will be throwing a banquet for everyone tomorrow night. You guys need to pick someone to wear the traitor amulet, and then whoever amongst the faithful is the first to touch this amulet at the banquet, they'll be cursed to death.
This is hard. And also, how many times are they going to make them murder someone in plain sight?
Murder in plain sight in front of everyone, because it's at the banquet where everybody's going to be there. And it's not something that you can kind of stage and do secretly in other rooms like they already did. So to do 2 murders in plain sights in the same season, that's brutal. That's really hard.
Yeah, and it's going to suck because they had to decide who was going to wear the amulet, and they made that decision last night
24
before they
hours
knew
ago.
how today was going to play out.
24 hours ago. So guess who has to wear the amulet? It's Lisa, the person who has like a ton of suspicion on her now.
I really don't like that. I felt like this was set up so that Lisa or Candace were going to have to do it.
Because it was an amulet.
How was Rob going to walk in with this huge ruby and diamond amulet thing that is not anything that he's been wearing to date?
Could he
He
wear it
wore
like
a
a-
pair of overalls with no t-shirt underneath the other day.
Which set the world on fire for the yearning, the
And
thirst.
now he's going to walk in with a ruby and diamond pendant.
You know, can you wear it like a bolo tie? Is that how is he going to be able to pull this off? So he was being.
I mean, to be fair, people would be wanting to touch him.
Right. Right.
So
Johnny would be right up in there. So, I mean, this is dangerous. Yeah. Lure them in.
Didn't Jam Jam also make a comment
Jam
about
Jam, I think, was probably in the running there, too.
I think we'd have a line out
I think
the
there
door.
would be plenty of people who are ready to rub their hands on Rob in some way, shape, or form.
Maybe they thought about this the wrong way.
Yes, I think they did, because Rob was very quiet. I don't think he wanted anything involved with this. He does not want to be around this, near this, in any way, shape, or form, in front of all these people.
And Candace did the conga line.
That's
So,
suspicious too. Yeah.
How is she going to do this on top of the conga line?
Because honestly, like, Candace would have been, and I think at that time, I would have said, no, don't do it, because, yeah, you led the conga line. That's suspicious. So, like, was Lisa the best choice? I think for Rob, he was being very quiet because he knew Lisa had suspicion on her.
Yeah.
So to put this on Lisa, she might get caught.
I think of the outfits that we've seen so far, the fashions, that it would have made the most sense for Candace.
Mm.
But
Actually, it would have made the most sense for Dorinda, but she wasn't able to wear it.
I will be shocked if Dorinda doesn't touch that thing.
She might take
With
an
the
interest.
number of cameo pins she had on that blazer.
Oh yeah, she was all decked out.
I
So
think she'd be very interested to
she
see this pendant.
She can't resist a pin. Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Who do you think they should try to murder, though?
So this is what's hard, is because they're basically leaving the decision up to Lisa at this point, because Lisa's the one who has to
not
wear
good.
the amulet. Yeah,
I'm not sure how strategic Lisa is on her own.
We've seen Lisa's decisions on her own right now. Not so good. Not too good today. Not so good in the round table. Not so good defending herself.
Do you have someone? Because
I mean, I
have someone.
understand that she's going for Colton. I don't know why she wants to go for Colton. I mean, like, I understand why she wants to go for Colton, because she wants him out of the game and he's annoying and he's going after her. But wouldn't that just lead right back to you? That just only adds more suspicion.
Well, and I think he's going to spend the whole banquet picking at her.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. Is that a distraction?
Like, can you spin it? If you're going to do that, if you're going to try to murder Colton, you're going to need to lean into that so hard to be like, this is exactly what the traitors wanted you to do. Because Colton has been right about one person being a traitor. He's banished 3 people in a row now who are faithfuls. So, no. Like, they're leaving you to do his dirty work because they were going to waste a banishment on me, and now they can't. So you have to prepare that story ahead of time, though, so that way you're ready to defend that. I don't think
that's
Lisa's
her strong suit.
I don't think she's thinking 3, 4, 5 steps ahead.
No.
She's reacting in the moment, and she kind of locks up here and there.
I would murder Mark.
It's not a bad play.
Because Mark was involved.
Mark and Johnny, I think, are
Right.
top of my list
Yes.
for murder.
But Mark ultimately did not vote for Colton.
Right.
So it's not that obvious. I think that if you're trying to make it look like Colton is a traitor, that he wouldn't murder one of the 4 people who voted for him.
Right.
But maybe he would murder someone who was involved in trying to get people to vote for him, even though he eventually didn't vote for him himself.
Specifically, yeah, that would be Mark in general there. Because, I mean, even though Steven said that he was going to vote for Colton and then he didn't, but he wasn't really leading the charge. So I think, yeah, Mark might be good. How much touching needs to happen with this amulet? We don't really know that yet. Because, like, if you wear it on your chest and then you hug somebody, does that count as a touch? Do
Well,
we
that's a
need
good
hands
question.
touching it? Does it need to be like a skin contact thing?
But everyone's going to be so, like, again, hyper vigilant, on high alert, that anyone who's trying to hug you or trying to force any type of interaction is going to instantly be seen as suspicious.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like they're going to
It's going to take somebody just doing this without thinking about it or having to be prompted.
Yeah, like a reactionary thing. And I think that they are going to be working people up into a frenzy. It seemed like we had quite a few reactions in the preview for next week. I don't know what's going on. I can't get a read on that.
Lisa's outfit is fucking unhinged.
Oh, like her sailor uniform?
Yeah.
Aye, sailor?
It's like an oversized toddler sailor uniform that she pinned this pendant to.
It's just stand out. It is a focal point on the piece. It's going to be hard to miss. Yeah, definitely. So maybe that's what she was going for. She's like, I'm going to be blank canvas, and then this is going to be the attraction where somebody will want to come and like seek this out, touch this, interact with it in some way, shape.
Compliment it.
Yeah, something's going to happen with it, right?
If I was Lisa, I would not do a thing.
No.
If the murder doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Too bad. Oh, well. I'm not going.
If someone happens to touch this thing in casual interaction, then, that's a win.
We could do that. But for the most part, I'm not going to be bending over backwards to try and make this happen today.
We'll see how overconfident she is.
Right.
If she feels like she can still try to persuade someone to touch this pin.
Yes.
Even though she's already got so much suspicion on her.
Yeah, I wouldn't risk it at this point. Definitely not.
Now, the banquet looks insane.
Yes. So I don't know what's going on. Tara and Natalie are like running away from the table at one point and freaking out.
This is based on a historical event that happened in Scotland in the 1400s. And it's what they based the Red Wedding on in Game of Thrones.
Right. So if you know how that ended.
Wasn't good.
Not great. Probably not great.
Yeah, we had Natalie and Tara running away from the table.
So I don't know if it's like, are they doing stuff with challenges? Are they like go find something or like run and grab something or like there's a shield somewhere and you have to go? I don't know. They could be, manipulating things a little bit here.
Someone yelled, "Let them fight it out." And then you just heard, "This is sick."
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. The seating arrangement didn't really seem to do anything. The food that was in front of everybody looked pretty normal from what we could tell from a distance. So I don't know if like they have. Okay, here's my theory. Ready? If there's food, it all looks like regular food. It's kind of like a is it cake sort of thing, right? But like with the those Harry Potter candies where it's like the jelly beans that some of them taste good and some of them taste gross.
Yeah.
So like if it's something like that you're cutting into it, you don't know if your meal is good or bad until you eat it.
I think you're making it more fun than it probably is going to be.
Well, that's what I'm going to
Also, the
theorize.
food budget's been very low so far.
Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, they're probably the ones who got the salmon. And then they're like, oh, salmon. And they eat it. And it's like, no, that's actually bad. That's real bad.
It's where all the mealworms went.
You got mealworms in here. Sorry. Tough. You got just a plate full of cockroaches.
We had them left over since we didn't use them in the cabin.
Yeah. And now we're going to dump the rest on you, too. Because there's a lot left over. A lot left over.
Well, why don't we do a little bracketology update?
Yeah, we've got a couple of updates here. A couple of moves.
So we only lost Ron this week.
Lost Ron, yes. So the bracketology hasn't moved around too much. We bumped up 2 spots. I'm just saying. We're tied for 3rd now.
Yeah, we are.
But
that's just for bragging rights.
That's just for bragging rights. Again, we're not going to claim our own prize here.
And we will brag.
Oh, yeah. You're never going to hear the end of it if we finish in first place, though. So we've got 8478 Ice. We got Bana. We have Crystal Hulks for Keeps. NM Congas. Mia Girl. Desert Dog 155. Tiger Fan. Suzak Coup. Right? I still haven't had a correction on that yet.
No, I'm glad that you're reading them, not me.
And Bookworm 0824. So that's our top 10. There's like a 3-way tie for 8th place right now. But yeah, that's the top 10 as it's shaping up right now. Very close in the running. There's only like 4 points that's separating first place from second place right now.
And I feel like once again, going into next week, we have no clues as to what's going to happen.
Zero information, no context clues to go off of.
So we're playing like Colton. It's totally from your gut.
Just, yeah, who are you going to point at and assume they're a traitor, try and get them out of the game? We don't really have a lot of pull, though.
Make sure you remember to set your lineups Thursdays. By Thursday.
Before Thursday. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's like it closes an hour before the show starts.
Hour or 2 hours, something like that. Just to play it safe.
Yeah. Do it Thursday morning at the latest.
Thursday morning at the latest. Yeah, just make sure that you submit something so that way you don't
Especially
miss
you guys that are at the top, you know? You don't want to end up dropping down there because you forgot to set your lineup one day.
Boy, don't
That's
we know
what happened to us.
First, you can hear that from us firsthand experience there. It's a terrible shame.
Also, if you guys are enjoying these episodes over on Surviving Reality, we'd really appreciate it if you would leave us a written review.
Yeah.
It's great when you click the stars.
That helps.
Writing a review apparently makes the algorithm happier.
Even more. Yeah, that helps even more. It gets the podcast in front of more people. We get more listens. It helps boost us up in the ratings, all the fun stuff. So that would be a great help if you could go ahead and take a moment to just leave a written review wherever you're listening here.
And follow us on TikTok or Instagram. We're on Instagram now. It's a new platform for us.
It's a new one.
At Surviving Reality Pod.
Surviving Reality
Yes, for us.
Pod?
We're like the last people to join Instagram.
Pretty much, yeah. Mary Payne was like, what are you guys doing not on Instagram at this point? Like, you really got to step it up here. So we finally got around to it. There we go. Now you can be a part of it too with the follows. But thanks so much for joining us. Let us know what you think. Who's going to get murdered? Who's safe? Who's going to get banished? I don't know. Let us know what you think.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.